now everyone is here and smiling and happy. My name is Jurga. I'm the International Coordinator for Menstrual Hygiene Day, and I welcome you this morning or this afternoon to, to our webinar called Together for a Period-Friendly World in Emergency and Humanitarian Settings. You can see the full. Perfect. Okay. And this is a topic that is, we want to use the occasion of Menstrual Hygiene Day to really shed a light on a very important but often neglected area, menstrual health and hygiene in humanitarian settings. And for all of you, please introduce yourself in the chat box with your name, organization, and location, so we get to know you, because connection and establishing connection with each other is also one of the aims of this webinar. We do provide French translation here in this webinar. So we have Wat, who will be our wonderful translator, and he is in the French channel. So you can choose your interpretation when you go into the button of interpretation. And if you want to have French translation, select French. Otherwise, please do stay in the original audio channel. That's the safest bet. Yeah, so I hope that's fine. There's also translated caption. If you want to have it in Spanish or in any other language, you can set your captions into different languages. But speaking wise, we have English, French today. I hope that's fine. So as a start of, I want to remind each and everyone here that no setting is less period friendly than a humanitarian crisis. For all of you mostly working in this area, I think you can very much underline this from your lived experiences and the conversations you have with women and girls in emergency situations, female refugees, displaced persons, and your colleagues. Limited resources, both around limited access to wash, infrastructure, education, and especially the lack of availability to sufficient and appropriate menstrual products. Limited access to health services leads to tremendous challenges for women and girls to manage menstruation with dignity, hygienically, and safety. Exacerbated challenges by limited safety and security overall, lack of resources, financial resources, and overall a dire future outlook, women and girls have really low chances to complete education, stay healthy, both physically and mentally as well, and a reduced potential. Thus, it's very clear. Menstruation, which is no choice for women and girls, it's happening every month, cannot be overlooked. It has to be treated as a health aspect, as a hygiene aspect, and foremost as an aspect that empowers women and girls. So addressing menstrual health and hygiene will contribute so much more. And just to remind, like, I pulled out only this picture from last year. This was posted by Global Affairs Canada, who highlighted the challenges around people living in Gaza. And I know you all work in similar situations, but I just want to show that also the government stands with you to highlight the challenges and show solutions that are taken care of worldwide. Today, we have a jam-packed webinar because we want to not only activate and share about Menstrual Hygiene Day, but we want to really focus on learning and sharing. So we start with an input from my colleague Aya Senbel on how you can use Menstrual Hygiene Day as the day to create awareness and drive action around MHH in your community or online. This is then followed by case studies with a focus on activating boys and men and stakeholder collaboration. And you will hear from Aya, why is that? And we have 3 wonderful presenters that also represent a range of organizations, but also a range of geographies. Concentrate from Mexico, Kenya Works from Kenya, and Tearfund in Congo. This will be followed by an open Q&A with all of you. And then we have a poll regarding the maybe reactivation of an MHM in emergency working group. When we get to there, I guide you through, and then we'll close. So I think the program is scheduled for 1 hour. I hope we're not overstretched, but usually we're here for a little bit longer for exchange together with you. Without further ado, I hand then over to my colleague Aya. Aya, should I still share the screen, or do you want to do that? Yes, of course.
Hi, everyone. I am now going to try sharing my screen. Okay. And you should soon be able to see it. Oh, good. Can you?
Not yet.
It is sharing, it says. Can you not see it yet?
No, it must be not. Maybe it's. Okay. I can share my screen. So
yeah.
1 second.
Now it should be fine, I guess.
Does everyone else see Aya's screen, or is it just me who can't see her screen?
We can see it now.
Okay, cool. Well, hi everyone. I will start by introducing myself. My name is Senbel, and I'm working at West United, managing partnerships for MHD and for MHM education. And I'm very happy to be here to introduce this year's materials and theme. So as you know, MHD is happening on the 28th of May every year, which is symbolized by the average of the cycle, which is 28 days, and 5 days of an average of bleeding. The day is a global occasion for us to shed the light on the challenges of menstrual health and hygiene and showcase the different solutions there are, and also push governments and different stakeholders to act. And in 2024, as you know, we have introduced the 10th year anniversary theme of MHD, which was the period-friendly world. And this theme was extremely successful, thanks to you. And now we decided that it is more than a theme, but it is our mission, because we want to create a period-friendly world where menstruation is accepted. It is a normal fact of life, and it's not something that is stigmatized. It is a world where you have access to health services related to your menstrual related problems. We wanted to have access to good services even in your workplaces, in your schools. And we want to also use this to ensure the environment is safe and resilient against climate change. So I'm going to share with you some numbers from how did the campaign evolve in the past 10 years. So last year, the 10th anniversary really broke all records, because in 2014, we started from reaching 22 million people worldwide to reaching 966 million people around the planet. And that is crazy. That is an eighth of the world population. Thank you so much for being part of this movement. And we cannot emphasize this enough, that it is together that we are reaching these numbers, and that together we are going to reach a period-friendly world. And to show you also more numbers about the last year's campaign, the events, there was also a big increase of events on the ground, but also a big increase in the social media posts. Lots of you have organized online campaigns, have posted about it. More media houses have been interested and put a spotlight on Menstrual Hygiene Day, which explains these high numbers. And yes. And these massive numbers, as I said, are only possible because we are united and we are together. And there is not a single organization or a group that can make a period-friendly world happen if we are not together. So change requires all of us to work together, be it civil society, governments, international organizations, businesses, medias, individuals, everyone has to be on board. And together, we actually have managed to become a global movement of over 1,150 partners until now, and the number is growing, especially now around Menstrual May. Yes, and we also want to emphasize that men and boys need to become part of the solution. And a period-friendly world is only possible if men and boys also join us, and they are also understanding that they are contributing to that. And we also would like to say that by bringing a diversity of actors to the movement, we will increase the change. So today I have prepared a few slides to show you some events, and not only on the ground, but also some online campaign highlights from last year. I have tried to collate mostly examples from humanitarian settings to inspire you as well for your upcoming MH Day. So MH Day is a key occasion to engage the communities on the issue of menstruation. So it can be either by providing direct education or by providing donations to females, either in refugee settings, in schools, giving them as well awareness sessions in their communities. And here's an example from Fab Treasure in Nigeria, who has hosted an awareness session and also distributed dignity kits to the girls in school in Abuja camp, and the IFRC in Brazil and in another IDP camp has done a big distribution. And this distribution only came up while working on the field because this population has been displaced due to a flooding, and they have realized that women and girls have been suffering from a lack of access to menstrual products. And this also shows that we have to listen to the women and girls we are working with, because also, as Ina said, even in humanitarian settings, women are still menstruating. And we have another example of education in March and other activities by the Norwegian Refugee Council. So this was an example of how communities come together, but I also want to show you that together with youth, we have to put them in the center. We want them to also come together for this period-friendly world. And this is what KRC in Uganda has done. They have been to schools to assess the schoolgirls' needs in refugee settlement, and they have collected a few statements. And I found this quote very powerful, where a girl has said, "For us, school-going refugees, having access to menstrual hygiene product isn't just about comfort, but it's about dignity." And it is also about dignity. That's why we should not forget that. We have another example of UNICEF Nigeria coming together with IOM Nigeria, going in schools and distributing products, but also talking with the girls and organizing distributions and education sessions all together. And now this is another example, because I have said earlier that change going towards a period-friendly world is possible also by bringing different actors together. And these are examples of how can you bring different stakeholders together on events. So here is an example on the left from UNICEF and BRAC and CARE, but they have organized an event in Cox's Bazar with Oxfam, with World Vision, and they wanted to celebrate what has been achieved, but they also wanted to see what is to be done to move forward and continue their work on MHH. And you can already see men being part of the event and not only women. Another example of bringing different stakeholders together on an event is UNFPA Mali, together with the Ministry of Malians Abroad and African Integration, where they have been together to schools to listen to the girls' needs. And also to show them that there is no shame around periods. And as this is, of course, I could not mention this, as this is one of our focuses today, of bringing together men and boys for a period-friendly world, and using MH Day to organize events that are targeting men directly, or events that target both women and men. UNICEF Madagascar has showed that men have been taking the lead by organizing a march on MH Day and by sharing also different statements. And then we also have statements that were online, not necessarily on the ground, because we know that not only on the ground events are possible, especially in humanitarian settings. And then Malteser DRC has hosted, as you can see, a session where you have men and women together. And we will hear more examples about this in the upcoming case studies. So here are more examples from online campaigns that different humanitarian organizations have held during MH Day last year, like a dignity kit illustration from Jordan. We have IFRC and the Global Wash Cluster as well. So social media also is important, and it shows how easy it is sometimes to just use social media to address MHH. And yes, you can feel free to have posts or also blog posts, it depends. Again, to summarize the different ways to participate in MH Day, it can be through events, through online media, through online campaigns, through media itself, but also through advocacy work. Now, to make it easy for you, we have a few ideas and materials for you that are available online for free, as usual, on our website. We will send you the presentation so you will have access to all the links. So this year, we have the menstruation bracelet available digitally, but you also have a little bit of instructions to help you make your own if you want to. We have the logo that you can download. We have something new that are stickers. We have really nice stickers that you can use. We have ready-to-use motifs for your social media. And if you don't like the ready-to-use ones, you can also make your own on Canva. We wanted to make that possible for you. And you can have the introduction. Everything is on the website detailed. And you can, of course, always ask us questions if you have any. And the hashtag, as you know, or for those of you who don't know, the hashtag is very flexible. We wanted to make sure that it can be easily contextualized or localized. So you can have period-friendly schools, period-friendly toilets, period-friendly Ghana, or period-friendly Nigeria, no matter where you are. But please make sure to use the hashtag so we can find your posts, we can find your events. It helps us calculate the impact and see your work and try to emphasize it. We have different languages suggested here: French, Spanish, and Portuguese. These are the main ones that we know of, but we don't know all of your local languages. So if you have any specific hashtags translated from period-friendly world in your local language, please send them to us in the chat so we can also track them. I will try to be quick. Finally, we have 3 asks for you. So when you get active on social media, again, please use the hashtag period-friendly-world or MHA 2025. And yes, you can just share it in in the chat or via email, the different languages that you are using. We are happy to see your events, and for us to be able to see them, please share them with us via this link. And we actually try to also highlight and spotlight the different events that are happening on our MH Day account. And finally, as an organization, you are welcome to join us to become an MH Day partner. If you are not a part, because I can see lots of partners already. So if you're not a partner, yes, you can join us, and there will be a special newsletter for you and a public database starting this year. And for individuals, you can subscribe to the period newsletter where we share all of the updates for MH Day. Thank you. And I am excited to hear the presentations of the exciting speakers that we have today.
Do you have the slide from Mohammed?
Yes, I stopped sharing, but yeah. And what we want to also celebrate today is we have a new case study that we have published at the end of April. And this case study was with Oxfam Syria. It was a talk that we had with Mohammed Khalili, where we have exchanged around implication and the work that Oxfam Syria does around MHM and how they integrate MHM into their WASH programming, and also how they build trust through community-led education and also engaging men and boys in their work. You can read the full case study via the link here. I will send it to you in the chat, but you will have it in the presentation as well. And shout out to Mohammed because he is here in Joab as well and the whole team in Syria.
Thank you, Aya. Yes, highly recommend for you to recommend the Mohammed's story because they went through a lot of troubles and insights around engaging boys and men, but also how they strategize their MHH program overall. So really, really interesting. Without stopping, now it's time for the case studies. Besides being always excited about MH Day, obviously, as the initiator of MH Day, I'm always excited to hear about work from our partners that they do on MH Day, but also throughout the year, because MH Day is just a peak opportunity. So we have 3 case studies, and the first one comes from Concentrate in Mexico. And we have invited Abril Páez Rosano. She's a humanitarian and development professional based in Mexico with extensive experience leading projects at the intersection of disaster, gender, and displacement. She currently serves as the development director at Proyecto Concentrate, where she oversees multi-sectoral initiatives focused on gender equity, migration, and community resilience. Abril has coordinated research papers and operational manuals on menstrual health and hygiene management for people on the move along both the northern and southern borders of Mexico. He has also led multiple disaster response across Latin America, Africa, and Europe. So I thought this is a really interesting case because we don't talk a lot about Latin America. And I'm really excited, Abril, that you're with us. And I stop sharing and hand over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. With me is my colleague, Fernanda Cano. I would like her to introduce briefly. Please, Fer.
Everyone, and my name is Fernanda Cano. I'm from Mexico, and I'm also part of Proyecto Concentrarte, leading all the work with girls and women in indigenous and rural communities, working for the last 10 years with period dignity. Thank you.
Thank you, Fer. So both of us will be speaking briefly because we only have 10 minutes about MHM Day specifically, but to speak about this day, we need to speak about what we are doing. So our work is mostly focused in the south border, where you know that we are the biggest corridor in the world for people on the move in terms of a number of people crossing from not only Latin America, but people from all over the world trying to get to the US. So one of the first points where they arrive is this state that you are seeing colored in darker red, where we are working all the elements of MHM, access to education in shelters, in informal settlements, improving infrastructure for dignified menstruation, again, in those places. Of course, access to menstrual products, and we do a lot of advocacy because this is an issue that needs to be raised. Briefly about our organization, we have been working in the country for 20 years. So as Fer was saying, we have a lot of experience working as well with indigenous communities and recently with people on the move. So for us, this is a really important issue because we have been raising awareness that the fact that boys and men are spreading a stigma and continuing to be left out of the projects and programming in MHM is causing serious consequences in girls and women. We are seeing and we have been documenting how much it affects for them to be pointed out when they have a lot of accidents because they don't have all the products they need when they're on the move, right? So they stop eating, they stop being part of the activities such as playing, as having the few education opportunities they have while they are on the move. So of course, as a consequence, they are being left out more. So now I will give the word to Fer.
I think Fernanda is muted. We can't hear her properly. She's
Yes, we
muted.
can.
Sorry. Well, so as Abril was saying, last year in the context of MHM Day, we hosted a menstrual fair that was open to the public, and it was in alliance with other organizations. And we had different activities, games, workshops, etc. And can we go to the next slide, please? This fair took place in Sedeco, which is a very important focal point. It is a wide open and beautiful space where NGOs, government, and international organizations give permanent humanitarian attention. So it's a focal point for people in the move here in Tapachula. And we had a lot of assistance. And we also made some joint actions with other organizations working with menstrual health and management with UNICEF, but along the whole migratory route of Mexico in order to visibilize all the joint action that we're doing across the country. And well, talking about the outcomes that we've learned with this work is that when it comes to a topic such as menstruation, with which people tend to be a little shy to talk about it, it is very, very important to talk loud and make noise about it, because it is our duty to talk loudly about these themes that are usually kept in the dark. And for us, it's very important to make menstrual activism in order to honor those who came before us and to open the path for us, so that in this, we are able to celebrate more than 10 years of MHM Day. And it is also important to make noise to remind decision makers that menstruating is political and that it not only concerns women, but that it concerns all, so that we can continue to be able to pass laws for dignified menstruation in different countries around the world.
Okay, so as I was telling you, the most important thing about people on the move in Latin America, I'm sure that you have already heard about the famous caravanas, right? I think there's some noise in the background. Oh, thank you. I think you have heard about the famous caravanas. So the caravanas is this big amount of people coming together and crossing through Latin America, trying to get to the US. And this was born as a security strategy because there's a lot of insecurity for people on the move in our country, throughout the country, but specifically in the borders, right? So there's a big sense of community with these caravanas, and of course that boys and men are part of these caravanas. So this means that boys and men are not only an important aspect in terms of education, because they need to be aware and educated on the issue, but this means that these actors are extremely relevant for girls, adolescents, and women, because they are traveling and they are sharing their way 24/7, right? So everything that happens to them, they are part of their network. They are part of their security network. So they need to be included in all of the activities. So as you are seeing in these pictures, our organization usually works through art and games in all of our projects. So we try to incorporate this perspective to plan and create really, really fun games and workshops for them to understood everything related to MHM, but particularly in their context. And we had a really good response from boys and men. At the beginning, of course, they were reluctant and they were super shy, but when they saw and they started hearing all the information, they were super curious, they were asking a lot of questions. And when we monitored the effect that all the workshops and games had with both boys and girls, they told us, the girls told us that they felt that now the boys were at least not making fun of what was happening to them, right? And we have really nice stories from boys. While they were here in the workshop, some of them started laughing, right? So other boys started saying like, why are you laughing? Even your mother is going through this. So it was really cool to see how they were putting a lot of attention and they were really engaged with all of these activations. And in terms of the multi-stakeholder, of course, as well, it is super important because it doesn't matter if you are only working with the affected populations, right? With people on the move, because there are many actors around working with them, specifically in our context, people that are responding to people on the move, which are the migration authorities and other NGOs that are not they are not aware, and they don't include MHM in their WASH planning and programming. So we try to make a lot of activities to do advocacy and as well teach them all the basics they need to know and why they need to be aware of all the particular challenges and difficulties that people on the move are facing in terms of menstruation.
So what we've learned through our experience that Abril was just saying is that it is very important to make it joyful and exciting, because when it comes to a topic with which people tend to be very shy, it is very important to use playful and dynamic tools that help create this joyful environment for sharing and for learning. Because if we expect others to be open and perceptive to what we're going to share, first we have to create this space for them to let go all of the things that they're worried about, or the tiredness that they have in their body, in order to be present and excited to be there. Because although, as Abril was saying, maybe at the beginning they were shy, later they were expecting the workshops, and then the kids were teaching the adults what they have learned in the workshops. So they created a community where kids were sharing that information, and they became advocates for menstrual dignity with their mothers and their friends. So it is important to create your own dynamics in order to make it for people wanting to be there and to learn more and to become a personal advocacy.
So we are
One more minute, Abril.
okay, so what to avoid for us is really important to say out loud and to emphasize the fact that we know that this is a really important and extremely important a day to create awareness, but try not to make it a one-day event, specifically with people on the move, because there are people that have suffered a lot of traumatizing events. They are dealing through a really difficult situation. So it is really difficult for you. It will be really difficult for you to, in one event, in only one day, for a few couple of minutes, to ask them to open and to speak about this really private and sensitive issue for them, right? Second, don't make boring workshops and content, because as I was telling you, they are thinking in many other things and they will not pay attention to you. Of course, social media is super important, but don't stay there. Try to make in-person activations. And specifically for our context, in the past we used to think that only people from Latin America and Spanish-speaking people will be receiving our workshops. But what we are seeing now is that we have a lot of people from Haiti and a lot of people from also African countries, right? So we are improving a lot of the MHF programming, changing the languages, changing the material. And please be aware that many of these people have suffered sexual assault on their way. So please be aware of gender-based violence with everything that you are doing, because you can open up really sensitive issues for them. And to finish, Fer?
And well, for this MHM Day, we are hosting 1 week of live activities that include workshops, a yoga class for menstrual health, a lot of advocacy for the laws that are going on in our country for menstrual dignity, movie night debate. So these are activities for all ages and genders. Also for girls that are having their first period, for mothers that have little girls and don't know how to talk about their first period with their daughters or their kids, for them to have a space to learn, to have these playful activities and to involve the community into this debate, and to see how in this place where we're hosting them, how can we create punctual activities to create a period-friendly world.
Wonderful. Thank you, Fernanda and Abril. Your contacts are there. I'm so glad that you agreed to speak today, because I think people on the move have very special challenges and we don't talk about them too much. I love that you brought us also joy through the pictures, and you could really see how engaging and how sensitive the activities were, and how you approach the topic and embed this into the broader work with the community. Yeah, so thank you so much for your presentation. And there are some questions in the chat box around, for example, the age of boys. So feel free to answer this, and also others, if you have an idea or like from your experience, also feel free to answer in the chat box. Now I would like to hand over to Caroline Gitau. I also speak French, Caroline, but it's Caroline Gitau. She's the programs coordinator for Kenya Works, and she holds a bachelor degree in social work and communication from the University of Nairobi, as well as a diploma in counseling psychology. She has been leading the on-ground programming with Kenya Works for over 7 years now, dedicated to the well-being of the communities. She is also a mother of 2 girls. She's joined by Joan, Alal, Okoth, sorry. And she's also a passionate advocate for sustainable and eco-friendly menstrual solutions. She is a really Alal champions initiatives that prioritize environmental preservations while addressing the deeply rooted social changes surrounding menstrual health. She holds a degree in environmental studies and community development. So over now to you, Caroline and Alal.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Caroline. I am the program coordinator for Kenya Works. My colleague Joan Alal, the Kenya Works Menstrual Health and Hygiene Lead, also joins us today. First, Kenya Works wants to extend our deep gratitude to our hosts, the Wash United, for the opportunity to gather as a collective power today in the lead up to the Menstrual Hygiene Day 2025. Kenya Works, and undoubtedly all who are gathered here today, we are all immensely grateful to WASH for creating the Menstrual Health and Hygiene Day, successfully establishing it as an internationally recognized day for the MHH progress. And individually, our work is meaningful. Collectively, we are changing the world. Additionally, we are thankful to all of you for your daily commitment to ending period poverty and for being here today. I'll start by providing a brief overview of Kenya Works. Then I'll turn over the presentation to my colleague, who will fill in key points on menstrual health and hygiene pillar. She will also share an approach to engaging men and boys as a part of our programming. We will wrap up our overview, this overview of Kenya Works and how we leverage on Menstrual Hygiene Day as an organizing opportunity with our annual Menstrual and Hygiene Partner Summit. We will share a few planned detailed as well as lessons learned. It is important to know that Kenya Works is a registered 501c3 nonprofit in the United States, and also it is registered here in Kenya as a charitable trust. Our vision is a poverty-free Kenya with opportunities and dignity for all. And our mission is to empower vulnerable children and families to overcome poverty and advocate for human rights in Kenya. We deliver our programs through 4 strategic and interconnected pillars that support multi-UN sustainable development goals. Kenya Works serves all the vulnerable children and families, including but not limited to the refugees and displaced people. Our approach is to all human rights and we approach all the human rights and violations as an emergency, and we are well equipped to support our humanitarian relief partners across the country. We deliver these programs through 4 distinct and interconnected pillars, which include shelter works, menstrual health and hygiene works, education works, and community works. I will invite all of you to visit our website for further information, but today our discussion will revolve around the menstrual health and hygiene works pillar. Joan will present on the same.
Yeah, thank you, Caroline. We want to delve deeper into the menstrual health and hygiene works because that is what carries the weight today. So in Kenya, we've seen that there's a national need in terms of menstrual health and hygiene, with as many as 2 out of 3 girls and women who experience barriers in terms of product, information, and even wash facilities. So to answer this question, Kenya Works established the Makini Pad Initiative in 2014, a partnership with a Kenya-based organization known as Vicodec to produce and distribute free reusable pad kits across the country. And this has over time evolved into our menstrual health and hygiene works pillar. The pillar focuses on 4 main objectives. The first one is on the product itself, which contains 8 quality and environmental friendly reusable pad kits, 2 storage bags, and a use and care sheet, all packaged in a carry bag. To date, we've provided nearly 200,000 pad kits with another 33,000, which are to be distributed across the country this year alone. Now, in our 3rd most improved version, the Makini Pad is a brand leader in reusable pads, being one of the first category to be certified by the Kenya Bureaus of Standards. On menstrual hygiene and training, we pair the product distribution with menstrual health and hygiene training to both boys and girls, men and women. We also initiated a program known as Boxers for Boys, which began in 2022, where we engage boys and men as powerful allies in creating a period-friendly world. We educate the boys about puberty, menstruation, and help them to build understanding, empathy, and to support girls. We also, when we engage boys, we found it helps in breaking stigma, it helps shifting attitudes and create a period-friendly world that advances gender equality and end period poverty. In community building approach, we partner with other like-minded organizations to continue to expand the impact through our Kenya-based reusable menstrual health and hygiene product. We support our partners with also training and monitoring and evaluation solutions. So in Kenya here, what we do on the Menstrual Health and Hygiene Day, since we realize it has become an opportunity across all sectors, Kenya Works has been participating and expanding collaborative menstrual health and hygiene activation efforts through the past decade, where we build awareness, community action, and hold national conversation on Kenya broadcast and streamlining platforms. So in our case study today, we will give you information of our goals, our outcomes, lesson learned with our last year's summit and a sneak peek into this year's summit. In 2024, Kenya Works, we hosted our first Menstrual Health and Hygiene Partnership Summit, informed by prior years of building collaborative events around the MH Day. It was so successful that we quickly decided to make this an annual event. Last year, we created a full day agenda with a mix of full assembly and breakout sessions to meet a variety of participant needs. And of course, we included lunch because that's the way we normally do it here in Kenya. We also made a product announcement which coincided with our Makini pad introduction of version 3 that is currently certified by our national certification body, Kenya Bureau of Standards. And we also connected the summit to the MH Day on the ground to promote collaborative product distribution. The impact collectively harnessed include, we had over 150 participants representing nearly 70 organizations across different advocates, non-governmental organizations, and community leaders who participated in the summit. The entry fee in the summit helped us collaborate during the MH Day for pad distribution. We also included media who attended the entire event and featured it in the evening news. From our previous summit, there were key takeaways that we learned from that. First, we need to continue to partner with like-minded organizations and participants to ensure inclusivity, relevance, and reach as we utilize the amazing assets such as the one that WASH United has made available through this platform. Thank you so much. I'll give it back to my colleague Carol to continue and finish up with the presentation.
I will share a sneak peek inside plans for this year's MHH Summit. And feel free to register by scanning this QR code if you would like to join in person. We will also live stream the event on our Facebook page if you want to check in online. The summit aims to use the MH Day to drive coordinated action, leveraging Kenya Works leadership and new campus to promote reusable solutions like Makini pads and expand menstrual health and hygiene access through partnerships. This year's event will be held on the 22nd May from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. We will continue to do both full group assemblies and the breakout sessions. We will also have the product input sessions for our prototype of our latest Makini product. This is a reusable period panty. And another new approach this year is to have the youth-led sessions with both the boys and girls speaking about the experiences before and after the menstrual health and hygiene programs. We will also have a session based on the recent field experience that highlights the universal language of menstruation, where the Musenke group women group use humor and skit to share the experiences on the menstrual challenges that they faced. And we knew very well that we needed to include this story in this year's summit so that the women can express themselves very well on the same. Here is the video.
We can't hear any audio, but we can see the pictures and how they demonstrated and the laughter and fun. Wonderful.
Okay. So that's the video. We'll share the same in a presentation for people to go through it. In closing, we'd like to express our thanks to all in attendance today and the other speakers we are learning from, and to our hosts for developing this platform and today's events. Let's connect and keep the conversation and the collective action going. Wishing you lots of success in your Menstrual Hygiene Day 2025. And that was all for today from Kenya Works team. If you have any questions and comments, kindly post them on the chat box. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kenya Works team. I also, you have team in your work because it's a team effort for today, but also for the work that you do throughout. Thanks, it was really, really inspiring. There's been a question for you in the chat box where the summit will take place. So there are a few people here from Kenya, and I'm sure they would like to join, but also knowing where the summit takes place. Our last group of speakers is from Tearfund. Tearfund is an international NGO tackling poverty through sustainable development, responding to disaster, and challenging injustice. Present on the call are today Poppy Anguandia, sorry. She's the country director in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Aimee Urozima. She's the public health promoter and experience in humanitarian settings, working to change wash behaviors, including attitudes, behaviors around menstrual hygiene. And over to you both. Tearfund always brings in lots of innovations in the field, so we're looking forward to hear your presentation.
Hi, thank you very much, and everyone. So for our presentation, it will be me speaking as country director, and then Aimee will be in French, so you might need to change into the English channel to be able to hear. So for Tearfund, I just want to check you can't hear the translation because we're hearing two on the side.
Let me see. So if you're speaking English, so I'm hearing the English one.
Okay.
But
Right,
yeah.
So for Tearfund, we are working in around 50 countries worldwide, working on a number of different sectors, including WASH, and in particular in DRC, where we're currently working, we do really a holistic package of WASH, which includes water supply, both in humanitarian situations and also sustainable water systems, hygiene and sanitation through social and behaviour approaches. Of course, then include washing and Páez and MHM kits as well, distribution. I'm working in all different settings, whether they're in displacements with IDP camps, also in more resilient development settings, in schools and centres and in. And when we think about menstrual hygiene and health, we're really looking at materials and supply, the supportive facilities, the information, and the social norms with taboos. We worked across all four of them, both in emergency settings with people and displacement, and also in more development.
En fait, pour impliquer les hommes et les garçons dans l'approche de la gestion de l'hygiène menstruelle, nous avons utilisé certaines stratégies comme des focus group ou des discussions en petits groupes. Et aussi, nous avons fait des activités dans les écoles, l'éducation et la sensibilisation. Nous faisons aussi l'engagement communautaire des leaders, les hommes et les garçons dans l'approche, mais aussi nous formons les intervenants. Nous faisons la formation des mentors et métiers où ils sont impliqués, même les hommes sont dedans. Il y a les femmes et les hommes qui participent là-dedans. Par rapport à l'impact que nous pouvons souligner par rapport à l'approche de la gestion de l'hygiène menstruelle, nous voyons aujourd'hui que les hommes sont impliqués dans la gestion de l'hygiène menstruelle. Ils commencent à prendre même les leads, de parler, de sensibiliser devant la masse et qui donnent aussi les femmes des valeurs parce qu'avant les femmes étaient marginalisées par rapport à leur gestion de l'hygiène menstruelle. Et par rapport à cette implication des hommes, nous voyons comment les hommes commencent à soutenir même les femmes. Ils parviennent même à acheter les sous-vêtements, les kits pour l'hygiène menstruelle à leurs femmes. Au niveau des écoles, les garçons sont impliqués et nous voyons comment ils soutiennent même les filles au niveau des écoles. Et par rapport à, parce qu'avant, c'était une question taboue au niveau des hommes, c'était une question où on ne voulait même pas entendre, on ne voulait même pas parler de ça. Mais actuellement, les garçons et les hommes commencent à comprendre que c'est une question pour tout le monde et ils commencent à se soutenir. Et voilà pourquoi nous renforcerons aussi avec des campagnes de sensibilisation, comme des journées que nous organisons, comme d'ici là, le 28 mai, nous allons organiser la journée mondiale de l'hygiène menstruelle. C'est pour renforcer la sensibilisation et l'éducation des hommes et les garçons dans l'implication de l'approche. Et aussi, nous encourageons les hommes par leur impact ou implication Ils commencent même à construire des latrines, des latrines ou des ouvrages sanitaires pour la bonne gestion de l'hygiène menstruelle au niveau de la communauté ou au niveau des ménages. Parce que même avant, les latrines n'étaient pas, ils n'avaient pas plus d'importance dans la communauté, ainsi que les douches pour la bonne gestion de l'hygiène menstruelle aux filles et aux femmes. Parce qu'avant, on voyait un ménage qui n'a même pas de latrine, un ménage qui n'a pas de douche. Maintenant, on se demande si la femme est dans cette période où elle ira faire ses besoins, où est-ce qu'elle ira faire ses besoins pour sécher, pour se laver. C'était difficile. Mais actuellement, avec l'approche et plusieurs sensibilisations dans la communauté, on commence à comprendre petit à petit l'approche et on voit quand même qu'il y a des impacts positifs.
Okay. I think what really excited me about what Emma was talking around was the activities and along with some of the other presenters, just starting off young boys and doing things in a fun way, and really engaged boys from a young age to be able to change mentality, to break taboo from a age. One of the stories that Emma was sharing in Okoth was in school where before, boys used to mock girls where periods were started in school, but then they would say something so early at school. But actually, the boys started to understand thanks to some of the activities that Tearfund had done in the school. Actually, there was a young boy that was sitting next to a girl, and he had noticed first that the period was started. He hadn't seen anything. But actually, for him, he took off his jumper for school and he gave it to the girl, and she wrapped it around her waist, and then she was safe from being mocked by other colleagues. I think that's really important that we start with male champions from a really young age. And we also work with male mentors in schools, whether they're people or in the community. We're again working with male mentors alongside young age to create. So Tearfund, as we do our menstrual hygiene and health activities, this is very much sits with a larger implementing these activities and wider engagement. Tearfund has an approach, an evidence-based approach to transforming masculinities, which work at the community level to talk about gender equality and to reduce sexual and gender a massive impact to be able to reduce intimate parts, particularly in Congo, where we've seen really good results. We just wanted to flag this and say that it's available on our website if people want to know more about transforming masculinity and also how menstrual hygiene can fit within that. And we would like to continue the conversation. And the second photo on this screen here, I hope you can see it. It's also one of the male mentors that really understood. It was a necklace showing the menstrual cycle, and he was one of the first people in the community to understand how the days work, the period, and then the ovulation. And so he was now the one that was sharing and teaching to his the other women in the community. I think it's just incredibly powerful again how menstrual hygiene stuff can fit within the wider education and they can be involved in gender equality issues. Thank you.
Bobby, you're done, right? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. What I really appreciated is that you show some concrete actions boys and men can do, right? Not only when you have created awareness about something that is very abstract to boys and men because they don't have periods, but after creating awareness, show them tangible actions like buying pads or building toilets, so to make it actionable. I really like this. And then also for embedding menstruation also in a broader gender equality discussion where it's not only about menstruation, it's about a lot of issues that concerns gender equality, being it education, being gender-based violence, being early pregnancies, marriages, and so on. This all are women issues where we need men's support. So transforming masculinities, I like this, is a broader concept where menstruation fits very well. So please do check this out. We're almost at the end of our wonderful input session. So before we close out, I do have a poll for participants. It's a bit long because, just let me share why, is because some years back there was a menstrual health and hygiene and emergencies working group that was active on global level, combining key leaders from international organizations working on menstrual health and hygiene. Then there came the pandemics, everybody busy with a lot of the crises that are around, as well as staff changes. So together with the Global Menstrual Collective and Oxfam and also UNFPA, we're thinking of revitalizing maybe this kind of working group. But for that, we also actually want you, we want to ask you as practitioners, as people in the field, if you think this is worthwhile and what would fit actually your needs, because there's a lot of network out there, but it also fits to your working realities where everybody is busy. So I have a small poll for you with questions to assess this, and I launch it now, and please take some time to read through. So we assess this, and then we get, based on the results, we move this forward, and it really helps us in the discussion. So the first question is around, in general, what aspects are you interested in? There is pick maximum 3, just to get an indication where most of you are working in and what is the focus. If you want to pick 4, it's also fine. But not all of them, because I know all of them matters, but we want to just get an indication. The second question is, do you really think there's a need for a community of practice or a working group? I call it a community of practice because that's a bit broader than a working group that implies working together on something. So there's a question of yes, no, don't know, unsure. That's totally fine. We don't know if we want to do this. The third question, what should be the main activities of this working group? There are, again, several, and a community of practice working group can't do everything. So we would like to understand what would be the main thing that you could benefit from. These kind of webinars are already kind of bringing us together, but yeah, there are different forms. And if there's other ideas that you have, please type in the chat or let us know later. The fourth question is, what are the formats to keep you engaged? So again, pick a maximum of 3 so we know a little bit of the direction, what would be the best suitable. And the 5th is a very open one, as any other thoughts. You don't need to fill this in if you want to, but yeah, we really appreciate taking your time. We have such a great diversity of actors also on different levels. So I think that helps us, and I will forward then the results, which are anonymous, of course, and discuss it with the Global Menstrual Collective, Oxfam, and the UNFPA colleagues. Okay. While I give you a little bit of time to fill in the questions, I still want to open the floor now. We're over time, but I hope you still stay with us. If you have any questions or comments or reflections to the presenters, now is your time to do that. So yeah, feel free to unmute yourself to voice some reflections, or if you have any further questions, of course, if you have anything to add, please also feel free. Anyone would like to contribute or share or have a question? It's a safe space, as we always said. No. Neelam.
Yeah, hi, I'm Neelam Sada from Chennai. I recently got connected with AIA. And my question actually, when I'm seeing all these, the case studies, this is the first time I got connected with Wash United, like, this type of podcast. What I feel is that why we are not, regarding the menstrual cup. See, I'm working totally for the menstrual cup thing for a very long time. So because of the, water problem, because of many other problems, I feel I request all of the persons here in this group to promote the menstrual cup. And the menstrual cup, which is made in good country with a good, totally certified, totally testified, that is only a suggestion. And second, from my experience of 170 workshops till now, for the past 10 years, I'm taking workshops. I don't feel that from my point of view, this is my point of view, why we are focusing on changing the male perspective. We should change the female perspective first, because still females are not, girls are not willing to talk, and they need to come out from their cocoon about this. It's still a very big problem to let them talk. And rather, if we include males in with them, I don't think so in a country like, the Asian countries like I'm working, the India or anywhere, it will be very difficult for them to work. That's my point of view. From my experience, I felt it in that way. So on my MHM day, I may not include male. I will totally work with females.
Nilam, that is fine. I think don't be concerned. I think we don't want to erase women and girls here by focusing on men. I think it's just no. I quite the opposite. You're totally right. It's foremost awareness and education matters for those who menstruate. Absolutely. Just for the broader awareness, we just wanted to highlight that it's also like attentions and also good to involve boys and men to then give support. But yeah, of course,
That's okay.
no,
That's my point of view.
yeah. But in terms of cups, I think I would like to open to other presenters and speakers, because I think there's different perspectives from different countries on introducing cups. So Abril already raised her hand. So Abril, over to you.
Thank you. I mean, in terms of an ecological point of view, of course, the cup is an amazing alternative, but I will just like to remind us that here in this group, we're specifically speaking about complex context, right? Humanitarian settings, crisis, emergencies, disasters. So most of the times, there's no water availability, the water is not clean, there are not enough places where women or girls can change comfortably the cup, and the cup is not for everyone, right? So as I was telling you, there are many girls, adolescents, and women that have suffered gender-based violence. So actually using the cup for them, it's traumatizing. So you need to
No,
be aware that.
sorry to interrupt, Abril, but from my point of view, I've distributed more than 3,500 cups so far. And from my point of view, the water is the least problem in the cup. You use, if you give reusable pad, and to take the pad to school or college, or to clean them in their college bathroom or a school bathroom or a workplace bathroom, it's a hell of a job. Nobody does that. That is what I felt, because I'd been to many corporates, I'd been to Apollo Hospital. Even Apollo Hospital nurses, they are not willing to use reusable pads. They have a very good bathroom facility, but they are not. So this is a cup. I feel, I'd been to many, my journey has become from normal pad to cup. Not today's thing, but I felt that we can do something about this ecological aspect. See, the public, the what you call period poverty can be reduced with the help of cup. What we have to do is to find a good cup and let them teach. Like, we have to teach them how to use it correctly.
Exactly. Nilam, I think
that is the main
what Abril wanted to stress. Thank
you.
And the cup is also very cultural sensitive in a way that it's not as intuitive as a pad and like pads. I mean, we're not promoting any type of products, but we always say it's an informed choice.
Yeah, that's right.
I must say, there is not so much experience around cups in humanitarian and emergency settings. We are maybe, if that's of interest, we might want to do something around that later in the year. Also around panties. So I know products is a lot of interest for everyone. And in other geographies, cups are even are culturally really challenging to adopt. It's not impossible.
Very much, very
It's
much.
not
So. I
impossible,
accept.
but it's so maybe some others
Thank you.
add on this, or maybe others have a question. Other questions. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Maybe also for Kenya Works team, because you're promoting washable, you're like a special type of pad and panties. Maybe also just give us a tweak how your products are received and how culturally adapt these are.
Okay, on the same, the reusable products need to go hand in hand. As we mentioned, we pair our distributions with menstrual health and hygiene education, which is really important because this is a reuse, it's a sustainable way of managing menstruation. And the same reason why we also include boys to end the shame around it, because many places we go to and girls will be like, where do we air them out? How do we air them out there? The boys will laugh at us. But now, including boys into this talk, they get to understand the reasons as to why girls use pads, especially the reusable sanitary towels. Yeah, so mainly for us, we pair the two, the distributions and education and inclusivity in this education.
Thank you.
Also, we are seeing on the chat box, people are asking how they can be part of the summit.
Yeah, please. Answer.
Yeah, so we shared the screen on how to register. My colleagues can share the screen. You can just scan the registration code and be part of us. We are located in Ongata Rongai. So for those who are able to visit our premises in Kajiado County, please, you are welcome to join us. Also, we'll be streaming it live on all our social media pages. Those of you who are unable to come physically, they can always stream, and we can create this as an impactful day on MH Day.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we make sure we share anyway the slide decks where you can then find the registration code and the link for everyone. So yeah, I think that would be wonderful if people come together. Yeah, we're a little bit, we're still here and you're still here. Anyone else who would like to share some questions or insights? Feel free to unmute yourself. We always love to hear. Okay, if that's not the case, no, I don't see anyone would like to speak. That's also fine. I hereby would like to thank all our presenters. It's been so insightful. I think we always talk about how to engage boys and men, and we saw really today some examples. I think boys and men always comes up in every webinar we're doing, so I'm really glad we saw some practical examples how you are doing this. Same, this togetherness of working together to go farther, to share resources, to push for better advocacy. I think, again, we saw some inspiring examples. I want to thank all of you because I know you all work in quite tough conditions and with very volatile population, being it young, being it old. All what you do is really contributing to making a period-friendly world a reality, and creating a sustainable, also period-friendly world by helping them through products and all the multiple interventions you do around infrastructure, education, and so on. So very holistic. So thank you for the work. I know it was only a small snapshot today. And I encourage every one of you who joined today, thank you to be here, but also get in touch with our presenters to learn more from them, and maybe team up from MHD event if it's happening in your same country. We will be in touch. And with that, I wish you a happy Menstrual May, a happy MHD. Please stay in touch and keep on sharing the good work that you do, because there is so much out there that we can learn from you and improve the work that we all do. So have a good rest of the day, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And special thanks to our translator, Watt. I hope Watt wasn't alone in his translation room, but he's done a stellar work for an hour of translation. Thank you so much, Watt. You're also our true male champion for these webinars, and I know you also learn a lot about menstruation for that. So thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of the day.